The Harmattan wind was scraping dust off Lagos, coating everything in a fine, pale grit. Tun's mother used to say that the dust was just opportunity waiting to be wiped away. Tun was 17 and the man of his house. His father had died 2 years prior, and his mother's small provisions store in the Agage market was drowning. She sold tomatoes, pepper, and onions, but the big boys with cold rooms and vans were undercutting her. She was losing money on every single brick of tomato paste. One Thursday, Tun watched her send a customer away because she didn't have change for a 1,000 naira note. The woman walked 2 shops down and spent the money there. That night, Tun didn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, listening to his mother's tired breathing. The next morning, he told her, "Mama, I'm going to Oyingbo." Oyingbo was a chaotic, sprawling livestock and food market. It was an hour away by Malu bus. It was where the real hustlers went. His mother laughed, a dry, sad sound. "With what money? You think goats sell themselves?" Tun held up his hand. "I don't need money to see." He spent 3 days just watching. He saw how the big buyers operated, how they bullied the rural sellers into lowering prices at the gate. He saw the desperation in the faces of the men who brought their goods from the north, stranded in the city, needing to sell before their perishables rotted. On the 3rd day, he approached a man named Alhaji Sul. The Alhaji had 10 bags of onions and no buyer. The sun was high. The onions were softening. "Alhaji," Tun said, not blinking, "you want to sell to the big boys at a loss, or you want to sell at a profit tonight?" The Alhaji was amused by this rail-thin boy with dusty feet. "I don't have time for stories. It's not a story. Give me 1 bag on credit. I'll sell it in Agage before evening. I'll bring your money plus 10%. And if you run," Tun pointed at his own chest, "my mother's shop is in Agage. You think I can run from you? You think I can run from God?" Something in the boy's eyes, a stubborn refusal to fail, made the Alhaji nod. Tun carried that bag of onions on his head through the Oyingbo traffic. He didn't take a bus. He couldn't risk the fare. He walked 5 kilometers. Back in Agage, he didn't go to his mother's shop. He went to the women frying akar bean cakes by the roadside. They needed onions for their pepper mix, but buying a whole bag was impossible for them. "I don't sell whole bags," Tun said, sweating. "I sell pieces. I break the bag." He sold half an onion to one woman, a quarter to another. He peeled and sliced to order, getting his hands stained purple. He didn't charge extra for the cutting. He just wanted the sale. By 6 p.m., the bag was empty. He had the Alhaji's capital, his 10% profit, and a little extra for himself. He took the bus back to Oyingbo, paid the man, and asked for 2 bags. That was the beginning. Tun didn't just sell onions. He sold solutions. He noticed that women in the market wasted time going to different stalls for pepper, tomatoes, and onions. So he started assembling stupacks, a proportion pack of tomatoes, pepper, and onions, wrapped in a recycled newspaper, ready to fry. He noticed that the women frying yam at the bus stop struggled with consistent heat. He befriended a welder and brokered a deal, customized charcoal stoves, sold on weekly installments. He never said "I can." He said, "Let me see how I can manage." Years later, Tun's mother no longer sold tomatoes from a tiny table. She managed a mini-mart that Tun had built for her. Tun himself was no longer carrying bags on his head. He had a small logistics company, 3 trucks, and an office in Yaba. But the Harmattan dust still settled on his windows. One afternoon, a young boy knocked on his gate. The boy's school uniform was too big for him. His shoes were held together with electrical tape, and his eyes held that particular Nigerian shine, the one that says, "I will survive this." "Sir," the boy said, "I heard you have empty space in your warehouse. I don't have money to rent it, but I can sweep it, guard it at night, and if you let me store my small inventory here, I'll pay you double when I sell." Tun looked at the boy, at the electrical tape, at the unblinking courage. He saw the dust settling on the concrete. He smiled. "What are you selling?" The boy straightened his back. "Onions from Oyingbo." Tun leaned against the doorframe, blocking the wind. "Come inside," he said. "Let me show you how to break the bag."